All right, that's it. I don't know. That was gay.
Yeah. All right, guys, here we are again.
No, that's gay. I'm not doing that. All right, here we go. Touching Tips, episode 22. Your boy Wilkie, my man's Brennan, back for another episode.
Attempt number 2 with this one.
Yeah.
I am still a fucking idiot, so that hasn't changed.
I think in the grand scheme of things, audio screw-ups, I'm probably still ahead of the game.
Yeah, that may be true, but still, I had the most recent one, and the one that probably is like, we should know by now how to do this.
I mean, even with that being said, it's like with us fiddling around, did everything. There we go. We're good.
All right, we're definitely on.
We're definitely on.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so we had an issue. Anybody who's using the DLZ creator, shout out to them for making our lives easy, but you got to make sure it's on. Got to make sure you're using it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just...
It's just two jerk-offs sitting here with their lips moving. That's it.
Oh, no, I listen to it on the Dropbox. It's like...
you can hear it, but it sounds like...
The MacBook recorded it, essentially, so...
It sounds like we're inside of fucking Apollo 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe as we get, higher quality studio prepping stuff, we'll be able to save the audio from some of these lost episodes or something, but...
Have we turned a corner? I just mentioned a space mission, and you just let it slide.
I guess I didn't even know you were talking about space.
Anyway, we're still fucking idiots.
I mean, dude, we can get right into it. We talk about the Challenger, about how they like found all these people that were really on the Challenger, and they're just like living their life like it never happened.
I mean, I don't.
Like, I'm not that guy with the same name in the same field of study.
I don't think that's true, but that's all right,
bro.
Yeah,
we need a Jamie in our life to pull things like this up for us.
Yeah. Well, if you find it on the internet, it's probably true.
I'm not saying that.
Anyway, before we get sidetracked, did you see Trump at fucking McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fucking hilarious.
He looked like surprisingly more comfortable than I thought that he would.
Yeah, I mean he fit right in. Fucking he had. Honestly, I could picture Trump like working at a fucking McDonald's if his daddy wasn't giving him a $1 million fucking loan in 1973.
How old is he? He's like 70 something, right? I mean, he would have. I don't. He's pretty sharp for like an old guy.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, I'll give him that. He's a hell of a lot sharper than Biden was.
Dude, yeah. If you try to have Biden serving up the French fries, he would have had a coma.
Yeah, he would have fucking deep fried his goddamn hands. Yeah. That was a tough look for him towards the end. How the fuck are you gonna roll that motherfucker out like that too? Like the whole fucking party just did that dude dirty. Like, just keep him in a back room or something. Certainly can't be fucking having to run out for a re-election.
Was it just? It's just in the grand scheme of things for them to like roll Kamala out.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still think
Kamala's husband is like heavily involved in whatever company just is trying to buy up the hurricane damaged Lithuania. What's that stuff called? Lithium.
Lithium. Yeah.
The lithium deposit rich Carolinas that were just ravaged by hurricanes.
Yeah, I could believe it.
It's like Kamala's husband is like on that board.
Yeah.
It's like buying everything up. The New World Order, bro. That's what it was.
Well, same shit happened with those
roll Biden out enough to like make people say we can't vote for this guy again.
Yeah.
But then there's people that will say anybody but Trump. So it's like a perfect storm for like them to come and take over the world.
The same shit happened. You remember those like Maui fires?
Yeah.
Yeah. They like the full fucking island burned down, and then like a bunch of rich ass developers like fucking came in and like bought all the land up.
Yeah. It's mysterious.
Yeah.
It's under like some like law that says under crisis time or something like that land can just be like bought up by the government or something.
Yeah, eminent domain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I
mean, I know the government sucks. I'm not here to champion them.
Yeah.
Now, back to the Trump though thing. I saw that meme where he's fucking he's fixing the milkshake machine.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, the ice cream machine.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Somebody needs to put that on a hoodie.
Yeah.
Like that should be the new, like,
I got a
supersized MAGA meal that comes with a McFlurry.
Yeah.
That actually follows through.
I gotta say, like, I don't give a fuck about politics, and I'm never gonna register to vote, and I'm not ever gonna vote because I don't give a fuck. But this time around, you have to admit Donald Trump is fucking he's killing it in terms of like the the PR moves. Like, he is almost impossible not to like at this point. Like, he says some wild shit, and I don't agree with his viewpoints on many of things, but God, man, he's just he's fucking crushing it right now.
Yeah. I haven't watched anything. I saw somebody, one of these guys that I'm friends with on Facebook that's very like sharing pro MAGA stuff.
Oh yeah.
He was commenting something about like Kamala Harris's last interview where she seemed like standoffish or something. And
yeah, well, she's
I
the
didn't watch
opposite
it
of
at
Trump
all,
at this
so-
point. Like, for every fucking soundbite that Trump gives off, we were just like, God, this guy's fucking funny. You know, like there's one of Kamala Harris who's just completely ignoring the question that's asked her and like attempting to like fucking muddle through some bullshit like canned answer. It's like, I don't know, man.
She just never seems to get to her point.
Well, I mean,
or
on
answer
the flip
anything,
side, like if it's impossible not to like Donald Trump in certain situations, it's impossible to like Kamala Harris in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like I don't want Trump to be the president either, but I can't deny that he's a fucking 10 times more charismatic than she will ever be.
I just think there's like, I want to fall into the trap of liking Trump.
Yeah.
I really do. But it's just, they're all puppets. You know, like I'll give you a 1% chance. I'll give you like the slightest glimmer of hope that I had left that we were going to come back from 28 to 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll hold out hope that he is that, you know, you got to beat him from the inside. He's the savior. He's not part of this whole fucking rat race. But if I honestly feel like if he really was out to topple everything and throw everything over, they would have killed him by now.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know.
Yeah.
They would have killed him by now. They just be killing people, man. Like his plane would have crashed, something bad would have happened to him. And I don't get it. And I know didn't like 2 people have tried to kill him now? 2 people have tried to shoot him?
Well, I know the one. Did he get a second one?
I don't know. They're both like mysteriously in BlackRock commercials. Do you know what BlackRock is?
Yeah.
It's like the company that owns everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like both of these attempted assassinators are extras in 2 different BlackRock commercials.
That can't be true.
It's fucking true, bro. See? Look at that. Look at that.
All right.
Did you put tap water in that cup?
Yeah, it's off your fucking door, man. So, you know, I'm open to your ideas.
You didn't do it off the fridge?
Yeah, no, yeah, I did off the fridge.
Oh, see, that's why you're like, no, that can't be true. You're open to it because you had that filtered water.
Yeah,
we took all the heavy metals out of your life.
I don't know. I'm dubious of that
It's
claim.
a crazy
but...
one too. I want to like if I hit the lottery, bro, I would like send an invitation to like my closest, hardest working friends and family and be like, I'm doing the Jim Jones thing.
Yeah.
But we're not drinking Kool-Aid. Like we are
minus the mass suicide.
We are out of here. Yeah. Like how the hell can we get out of here and be self-sufficient and not have to listen to any of this nonsense?
It's like the email subject line is, "You guys hear of David Koresh?"
I don't know who that is.
You know, that was the Waco guy. You remember Waco?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could picture you being the leader of a cult.
Like the closest I ever got was like you ordered Bam Margera on Wish.com and you got me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I could see that.
Me and my like 4 drunken minions that hung out with me in college and partied at my house all the time. One time I got into a battle at a fast food restaurant where my friend was driving my car, so I felt like entitled to like tell him how to drive.
Yeah.
And they were like, this guy was like trying to, I don't know why the drive-thru was set up like this. Or maybe they were really being jerk-offs and they were trying to like cut in front of us and not wait in line. And I was like, don't let him in. Don't let him in. We fucking inch. And they ended up like following us back to like our apartment complex.
Yeah.
And I like commando style, like jumped out of the car, went and banged on my door where I had a house party going on. And I was like, we're fighting these guys. Everybody come out. You know what I mean? And then nothing happened. But it was like me and like fucking 6 of my idiot friends in like
heading it up,
the courtyard of my apartment complex, being like, "Let's go!" It's like, dude, you're gonna get thrown out of the apartment complex for being ridiculous.
Do you have a lease because it's gonna get canceled?
Yes. Your boy was fucking wild, doing nonsense over Taco Bell.
Yeah, and it was probably just some old couple that happened to be at Taco Bell and then happened to live at your apartment complex.
No, it was like another group of jerk offs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right. I mean, when jerk offs unite.
Yes, or confront.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pleasurable wave
Right, yeah.
merging, bro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The vibes were off.
The vibes.
Yeah.
That brings me to a crazy vibe of a man that I saw going into his shift, and he just simply already had his apron on in his car.
I mean, you know how I feel about aprons anyway, but then to be driving around with the fucking apron on, like on your way to work,
Yeah,
like you're a
that's
fucking
wild,
you're
right?
a psychopath.
That's crazy.
Straight up.
I've never seen that. I was like waiting.
What happens if you have to go into a fucking store before you go to work? Now you're just walking around fucking Stop and Shop in a fucking apron? Like, you look like you're ready to like fucking like break down a body.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
I don't know why he was so ready.
Yeah, I've never been that ready for
Like,
anything in my life.
have you ever seen the movie Commando?
Yeah,
Like, you know when
of course.
he's like he's like suiting up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All I can think of is like that kid getting ready.
Yeah.
And instead of like the eye black, he's like,
yeah,
got my apron on.
like doing the fucking stupid spoon twirl and then tucking it into his fucking pocket.
Yeah. I don't even think this is a bartender. This is a server.
Oh
'Cause
my
I
god!
ate at I was going in to eat at this restaurant. I was waiting for my wife's cousin to get there, so I was sitting on a bench outside, and I just saw a guy get out of his car, and I'm like, "Oh, he's got all black on. He must work here." And then I like gave him the up and down. I go, "This motherfucker's got his apron on already? Like, holy
so
shit!"
So he like put it on in his apartment, walked down his apartment stairs, walked out to his car, got in his car, all with the apron on.
Because I saw him, I was looking at cars pulling up because I forgot what car I was looking for. You know what I mean? I don't know what this guy drives. So I'm looking at like every car coming. It's not like this dude was like on the shift, like when I was smoking a bowl in his car or something like that.
Right. So he pulled up in that.
Yeah, I saw him driving and get out. It's wild. It's the wildest thing that I saw. That's a pretty good week if that's the wildest thing.
That's true.
Maybe it's not. We gotta keep it moving and talk about some other shit.
Yeah. I went to the doctor last week and he basically just told me I was gonna die, so now I had to like change my entire life.
No way.
Well, it's just like your cholesterol. Yeah, he gave me like the look where he was just like, "What are we doing here, man? Like this is crazy," So my cholesterol was fucking insane. So he was like, "You got to do something." So I was like, "All right."
Have you heard Tom Segura's thing about going to the doctor and the doctor's just roasting him the whole time?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
No.
Yeah. Well, my old doctor was like this old fat Indian guy, and every time I would go see him, he would be like, "Hey, you know what? Things could be worse. Am I right?" And I'm like, "I love this guy," And now I got like one of those fucking like 28-year-old like young like white guys who's just like, well, your numbers are pretty high. It's like, oh fuck, all right, fine,
So what's wrong? What's killing you? The
cholesterol.
Burger King?
Well, I think it's the inactivity and fucking poor diet. So I've been like eating better, and I've been running like 2 miles a day. I fucking hate running. First of all, let me just say this. If your dad is alive and you're out there running, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I have like heart disease in my family and I have small children, I would never run anywhere ever. It fucking sucks. Anybody who tells you different is just lying to you. So I fucking run 2 miles a day every day now because that's just my shitty life. But I gotta say, I feel great.
Yeah.
Like it does. It makes you feel a lot better. But the actual act of running fucking blows.
Dude, I don't know. I fell off on the activity big time, man.
Yeah.
Like I got like a gym set up on the other side of this wall. I was trying to run with my dogs and shit, and I don't know what happened to me. My back problem just got really bad, and it got really bad for a long time, and now I feel like my symptoms have switched up. And it's like I don't really have an excuse to not be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So you gotta light a fire under me, bro.
Well, I don't know. Well, that's another thing too. Is like even I've noticed just in the 2 weeks that I've been doing this shit, like I like not only do I just feel better, like I just feel like clearer inside, but like also like movement wise, like I'm like way more limber than I used to. Like I had fucking hip pain, joint pain, knee pain, like all sorts of shit. And it's like kind of still there, but like it's like a different kind of pain. Now it's like a weird soreness. That like, but I can like work through it, Whereas before I was just like seized up and like, dude, I'd sit on a fucking couch for an hour and I'd be like, well, this is where I am for the rest of my life because I cannot get the fuck out of here, I don't know. People are right. Exercise feels good, but the act of doing it will always fucking suck. I can't imagine it ever not sucking. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like after a while, your brain gets like addicted to that like dopamine release, and you gotta. Like my wife works out like almost every day.
Yeah.
She's like, I just got to get the workout in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how, like, you know what I mean? It's just become either such a habit, or like it's her brain being like, I need that dope.
Yeah, well,
know?
I do
Like-
think it becomes like a part of your mental health because
Yeah.
I think by my years of doing not anything, like conditioned me to just always be okay with feeling like shit, you know, or just like not feeling good, being depressed and just being like in a bad headspace. So like now I feel like now that I'm kind of getting a glimmer of like the rays of positivity like shining through, I'm like, oh fuck, I guess I shouldn't have to live like this, should
Yeah.
I? You know, I would imagine eventually, though, I will come to the point where I won't be able to take, like, the not doing shit and being depressed all the time. Which
I think that
it'll be kind of sad. It'll be like saying goodbye to an old friend. You know, like it's you've been with me through everything, and now I'm finally going to turn my back on you.
Dude, I feel that like, there's you're on the list obviously of the people that I share the dark memes with.
Yeah,
And it's like, I'll always see some people will share like positive stuff, and it's like, the thoughts that you have are all that are dictate, and I'm like, but
Yeah.
it's so much more fun being like dark and depressed. Like if I didn't have this dark sense of humor to laugh about, I don't know I don't want to give that up.
yeah. I don't. And
I don't want to give that up to have good mental health.
I can't blame you. Like I said, I miss it sometimes. You know, like it's the only thing that's kept me going this whole time.
But I feel like that is, I was going to say another thing to kind of bring it back to hospitality. I feel like a lot of bartenders and servers are kind of like, they think that their job like keeps them in shape somehow.
I mean,
Like-
it does more than sitting on your ass doing nothing,
Yeah.
but not much more than sitting on your ass doing nothing.
I think it cancels out though, because like all of the grazing that you do,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
you're just fucking eating French fries and chicken fingers and
Yeah.
mozzarella sticks and like whatever like the easiest stuff to cook is. And even if not, like it's like I remember when I worked at your spot, I was like, all right, what can I eat that's gonna come up fairly quick? It's gonna taste all right when it's lukewarm.
Yeah.
It's tolerable when it's cold. All right,
and I can eat it in under 28 seconds.
let me get a
Yeah.
bacon mac and cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never sitting there let me get the side of mixed vegetables.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're getting.
I want some steamed green
You're
beans,
getting like
please.
the bar sliders, the burgers, something,
Yeah.
like
Or even when I do eat something like home cooked or good, it's like, well, I'm eating it at fucking 2:30 in the morning and then immediately going to sleep, which is just terrible for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, even when I do get like a healthy meal, it's like I'm cramming it in my fucking mouth hole at 1:45 and then like laying down at 1:52. It's like this
dude,
isn't conducive for a human being. you know?
it's hard to work in this industry and eat healthy, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have to like bring like a lunchbox with you. You gotta like have
I got fucking soup in my car.
like you gotta have like a regiment of like I try to do this at the airport. You know what I mean? Like my wife turned me onto this thing called an inner shower. And that's where you wake up and you drink like I'm up to 32 ounces of water. So
Yeah.
you drink like 32 ounces of water within the first like hour that you're awake. And it's just supposed to help like flush your brain and all your other shit out of your system and stuff. So it's like I'll put that down. I'll have, my alarm's going off at 2:45 in the morning. I can't necessarily be making myself a smoothie at that time without my wife being like, what the fuck? So it's like I got
Nobody wants the blender at 3 a.m.
I got the smoothie
Yeah.
on deck from the night before. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got the 32 ounces of water with the 3 packets of stuff in there. So I'm getting that in. And then I got like a giant mug of coffee too.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm crushing all that. And it's like, it's still not enough. Like I get to the airport and I'm like, fuck, I do want like a little like breakfast. Like this,
Yeah.
the smoothie's not enough. So it's like I still end
Yeah.
up getting a bagel or like a side of bread or something like that. And it's like, none of that shit's fucking good for you. I'm
Yeah.
putting condiments on it that are like, don't need, you know what I mean? It's like the butter that doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Right.
Fucking jelly, cream cheese that I'm sure probably isn't good for you either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's impossible. Like you have to, now if I want to maintain the good foundation that I've built for myself, it's like now I got to start bringing like a thing of berries or something and fruit and whatever else I can manage to get through security, like, and that's another thing too. Like I got to drink the shake before I go through security. So
Yeah.
It's not like I can.
You can't just bring like 42 ounces of a mysterious liquid through the airport?
Nope.
No.
I think you can only have like 3 or 4 ounces, I think is
Yeah.
the biggest thing you can have sealed.
Yeah.
But I
Unless
haven't tried.
You
'cause
need to
I'm
just start smuggling it in your butt.
always-
Just fill a long cylinder up with smoothie and just ram it up your asshole.
There was a time. I mean, honestly, like now that I'm thinking about it, I do have another regimen in the morning, and that's like probably eating like 100 to 200 milligrams of gummy bears. So that's probably why I'm so hungry by the time I get into the airport.
Yeah, no
as well. But there was a time where I was like, all right, let me stretch. I'm only gonna take 100, and I'll bring another 100 with me just in case I pick up a double.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the first time I go to do that, bam, random fucking check.
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
like, oh, fuck, I've ruined my whole life on fucking gummy bears. I can't believe I fucking did this. And I had my paycheck in like an envelope in my breast pocket, and then I had like my badge sitting in front of it. And I just had like the two bears like in the pay
pocket
stub thing. You know what I mean? So they're like, all right, take your stuff out of your pockets, hold it above your head, and they put you through like the body scan thing. You know what I mean? So I just could, like, conveniently enough, like everything just came out. I held it up, went through, and they're like, all right, see you later. And I was like,
sweet.
All right, sweet. Like, so do I take this and run with it now and be like, they don't care about gummy bears? Or be like, Ryan, you
lucked out.
You got through scot-free.
Yeah.
Let's calm down.
Yeah.
You know? And then I had another situation.
Although, actually, does it even matter anymore?
No, I don't think it does.
Yeah, because, like, it's legal.
Like, if
so.
anything, you just be like, they're vitamin gummy bears.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, eat them right now. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, perfect.
I will do it right now, yeah.
You daring me to have 300 milligrams of THC running through these fucking veins?
Yeah,
I would love it.
It's like, that's what I have to do to actually get high.
Yeah.
So.
Which is crazy, dude. That's like an insane tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do.
Have you ever tried just like not smoking weed or not being high for like a week?
When I went to rehab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what?
I don't know. I think I went. There were a couple of times where I went down to see my wife's family.
Yeah.
Like we didn't bring flour, and I was just like eating edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But eating edibles is the same thing, though.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. It's not the same. Like nothing is like I can eat like a ton of edibles, and like nothing is the same as like blowing my head off with a bong.
Yeah, fine, but you still have it in your system.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever tried just not smoking pot or not eating anything that has THC in it?
Why would I want to do this? I don't understand.
I don't know. Like, don't you think, like, isn't
like
it
a tolerance?
Aren't you
break?
curious at this point? Like,
I mean, I've taken
on
a
the
break
flip side.
off.
On the flip side of like doing drugs, remember the days when you would be curious as to what drugs did and then you would take them? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you must have the same fucking curiosity as to like,
a
I wonder what
life.
it's like to not have drugs, you know? Like, just being like walking around as a human being, you know?
No, because all right. So here's my answer to this.
All right.
The
hit me.
person that I am driving to work,
Yeah.
high as hell, is a great person for society.
Okay.
The person that I am driving home from work, where all the weed is worn off,
Yeah.
is a fucking menace.
Yeah.
I'm riding your ass. I'm very upset that you're in the left-hand lane for all this time for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I'm flipping you the bird. I'm fucking aggressively coming back into the left-hand lane after passing you in the middle lane. I'm being a fucking asshole and a menace to society.
Yeah.
For no reason.
So what your
Like,
your answer
but
is
if I
that you're
just
doing
get-
it for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Gotcha. All right.
But I mean, I don't think if you gave me some chance to go to like some fucking, I don't know, like I got to assume weed's a big problem in Egypt if you want to go see the pyramids.
Yeah.
So like if there was some opportunity to go see all this shit that I'm into, I wouldn't be like, well, I can't smoke dope. I'm not going to go,
Right.
you know?
Well,
It's just like, why do you do this? Because I have the bankroll and the ability to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't fucking do anything else. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't spend my money on frivolous things anymore. I don't even
Yeah.
fucking buy shoes anymore. You know, what the hell do I do? I just put all.
so it's the
my-
the last thing you got. I get it.
Well, it's not,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't even look at it like that. It's just, I don't know.
I don't know. To me, like, it's totally fine if that's what you want to do. I just feel like I think a lot of people just do the same thing every day and then don't examine why they're doing it. If you're doing it because you like to do it and you're always going to like to do it, then good for you. I'm just saying, like, every now and again, you should probably just come up for air just to see what the world is like, you know? Just
But I feel like I do. It's called like the second half of my shift.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not like I used to be the guy that like had a bowl with him and be like, oh, you want to go fucking hit a bowl like
Yeah.
at fucking 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But now it's like I make it all the way through
There you go.
on, glimmers of high dosage fucking
Yeah,
edibles.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By making it seem like you're just floating through fucking space when you're going through the security machine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I also it is funny if I am dialed in. I've talked about this before, but like my cross country and track like mentality takes over, and well, you're on like the walking sidewalk,
Yeah.
and it's like the same thing. I'm like fucking walking, speed
You're like-
walking as fast as
You're
I
trying
can.
to go like 30 on it?
Yeah, I've
Uh,
got it down to from my car to getting through security. I've got it down to 10 minutes.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
fast.
That's
I
just
mean,
walking fast.
Yeah,
I'm not running.
I did that walkway on what was that Tuesday? What the fuck day is it? Yesterday? Was that yesterday? I don't remember.
Yes.
But yeah, I did that yesterday, and that's not a fucking joke. That's a long walk. So even with the fucking the escalator thing,
You know what you can do though? You can get in with like you can ride with the fats.
ride with the fats.
Like
What
you
do
saw,
mean?
like they have like that big like electric go kart
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
like the fats and the cripples need.
yeah. I'm not gonna do that.
But you
Yeah.
can.
I know, but I would never do
Like
that.
there's
Yeah.
like a lady that works there. She's fucking looks like Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and she's like you can get she was already sitting on the thing. You know what I mean? I was like, no, thank you, lady. I like to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, I forgot all about me, Wad.
And I just fucking see the thing go by, and then another time I'm like,
Blah.
there was like a call out on an open that I was working, and she came in to be like the emergency server.
Yeah.
And I like had to show her like how to open the restaurant, like and work beside her and shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, lady. So then like a couple of days later, I see her, and she's just like sitting on the bench at like the end of the walkway, like before you go down the escalators.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just look at her, and she's like, I'm just waiting. So she wouldn't even like, you know what I mean? She was like waiting for the guy who drives back and forth to like get to that position.
Yeah. See, like
Instead of just walking.
that's just not fair to me. Like, why is that lady allowed to do that to herself, and yet I can't eat a fucking burger without like clogging my arteries to the point where I'm gonna die?
Oh,
like,
bro, she's not.
Yeah.
I don't think she's gonna make her next doctor's visit.
Well, how old is she?
I don't know. Like, she's got to be at least 50.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that's not fair. She should already be dead. Oh my god.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, like she's a prime candidate to get like eaten by like a cougar or something. You know what I mean? Like if this was like
That bitch has never seen the outdoors.
if this was
so,
like
unless
caveman
cougars are-
days,
yeah.
and it was like like the whole tribe is like spanned out and the weak ones are in the back,
Yeah.
she's getting picked off like a motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, if I believed for a second that fucking woman had ever gone walking anywhere, I would have said, yeah, she'd get eaten by a cougar. But
Yo, that is
unless
one...
there's fucking cougars in line at fucking Haagen-Dazs, I don't think so.
Oh man,
Yeah.
have we talked about Haagen-Dazs is a superior product?
It's good. It's good ice cream. Yeah.
It's better. I feel like there's a war between Haagen-Dazs and Ben and Jerry's.
I mean,
And this, honestly, talking about talk about smoking weed. You know what else is my other drugs?
What?
Is fucking ice cream, bro.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it reminds me of my drug days because I'm constantly like going back and forth to like the 3 markets around my house, and I'm like trying to find like the 2 or 3 specific flavors of Haagen-Dazs or Ben and Jerry's that I would tolerate
Yeah.
spending my drug money on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hate to admit this, but yesterday I went out in search because I only had a half of an ice cream left, and I was like, that's not enough. So I go out in search, and I go to this local Stop and Shop over here in Seekonk, and it's like a small Stop and Shop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they got to be getting like a truck once a week. I'm looking. I'm like, fuck, they don't have any of the flavors that I want in Ben and Jerry's, and Ben and Jerry's isn't on sale.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, all right, grab a few. My wife and I have this, she's hating on me because I don't like a chocolate base of ice cream.
Like chocolate ice cream with
Yeah.
then other things.
I don't want
You
that.
like the vanilla ice cream with the
or
other
like
things.
peanut butter ice cream or
right,
whatever.
yeah.
I want something other than chocolate, right?
Okay.
So I grab a few chocolate things that I could tolerate. I'm like, all right, be a good husband. And then I'm like, there's got to be a Haagen-Dazs here that I like because they're on sale. Now I'm being cheap.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, man, they don't have any of the ones that I want. And then suddenly it appears. And it's like, you know, sometimes in like the beer cooler, somebody puts like that beer where you can't see
Yeah.
it behind like the rail.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And I want to say there was like 12 of caramel cone, and that's my fucking jam. That's like the king.
Yeah.
And I put them all, I emptied them all. So I bought like 15 ice creams
Yeah.
10 minutes before the Stop and Shop closed. After I cooked like a healthy chicken stir-fried dinner
Yeah.
for my wife and I.
So now you're pre-diabetic.
Yeah. And then I proceeded to like have like 2.5 ice creams.
Yeah, that's too much, man. But that's well,
I don't
whatever.
know. And
We all got to get through the day.
I've also noticed too that like Ben and Jerry's a lot more harsh on the digestive tract
what
than Haagen-Dazs. Yeah.
In terms of like your shit after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking like some of those things will have me praying
Yeah.
in the airport.
Yeah. Dude, fucking last night somebody went out to get food or whatever for dinner, and I was like, just get me something that's like fucking mildly healthy, because like I'd forgotten to pack something, because of course I did. So he came back with whatever, like a chicken wrap or something. It was good, But he brought me back like a kombucha tea, and he was like, "Oh, do you drink this?" I'm like, "No, I've never drank a kombucha in my life." He was like, "It's good for your gut." I drank the whole fucking thing in like 10 minutes, and then I proceeded to almost shit my pants the entire fucking shift. Like I was like on the cusp of it the entire time. I was like, "This sucks." Like it just immediately like wreaked havoc on my fucking internal organs. Like, yeah.
Maybe you have to like keep doing it until you like reset.
So I reset my gut health.
Maybe you ever heard about like keeping your system alkaline?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. I've heard of all of these things. I don't know anything about it. Anything.
That's like
Yeah.
You know who Dr. Selby is?
No.
He's like a guy that he preached all these like other, we got healthy on like herbs and all this shit. Like
Yeah.
he said basically conventional medicine is bad for
Right.
you.
Rosemary will cure your prostate cancer.
Yes, and he got taken to federal court, or he got indicted by the feds, which have like a 99% conviction rate. Like they don't indict you federally unless they know that they got you. He defended himself and he beat the feds.
Damn.
And mysteriously died a few years later.
There it is.
But
there it is.
He has a thing about the alkaline stuff, and I think that the kombucha falls into that.
Yeah.
So maybe like the kombucha was just literally like just throwing Ronald McDonald out of the clown house of your system.
30 years of eating fucking Burger King just like came flying out of my asshole.
There's like a 4 foot tall Ronald McDonald statue in that man cave house that I've.
And we gotta get it, and we gotta put a strap-on dildo on it. Too far?
Yeah.
Too far.
Between that and the kombucha, bro, you're really gaying up the last like fucking 37 seconds of this.
Sorry.
Of this segment.
Well, I've always had one foot in that
how about
hole.
I saw this thing in the doom scroll earlier today.
Yeah.
I saw who's the guy Eric Andre, you know who this guy is?
Yeah.
He has like a crazy
the show
or whatever. Yeah. And I guess there was one where it was like it never aired, and I think he like showed it to Conan or something, and Conan was like, "All right, we're gonna put it on." He was like, "Oh, this is great. Nobody's ever seen this." And he dresses up like as Ronald McDonald. And he goes into a McDonald's and he's like smoking a cigar, and he's like, "You're fired. You're fired. You're fired." Like he's like talking like I don't know, like a Looney Tunes like oil tycoon or something. And then there's like a scene of him where he's just like crying, leaning against the wall, eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then he stops and gets all happy and shit. But I don't know. That was just, you got to see it.
I mean, anytime you can get Ronald McDonald doing funny shit, I'm in.
I saw this other thing where these kids made like. They took a picture of themselves and they put like the McDonald's font or whatever on it, and they framed the picture and they hung it up in the McDonald's, and like nobody ever questioned.
Never noticed it.
Yeah. We should do that.
Well, we used to have one in a restaurant I used to work at where like a bunch of bar regulars superimposed themselves into a picture, like like an old timey like 1920s like speakeasy bar, and their heads were in it or whatever, and like they hung it up and nobody ever noticed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Usually I just steal stuff from restaurants.
I was gonna say,
I've stolen, but in the time of my life where I had like the cool guy like party house, like I definitely had like a mat from Taco Bell.
Yeah,
I had a Wendy's mat. I'm trying to think of like other cool stuff that we stole. My boy stole that mahi mahi that one time.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he gave it back out of fear because we were tricked.
Yeah,
we were tricked into thinking that they had the video evidence.
Yeah, I mostly just stole condiments and shit. Like I used it as like my personal dry storage. Just be like, "Oh, I need ketchup." And fucking get it from the restaurant.
Have you seen the guy? He like goes like Chipotle and he just fucking like takes everything.
Yeah, well,
like the Grinch. He takes like all the silverware, all the napkins. He takes everything, bro. That's so funny.
Well, that's how we fucking, when we were young, having an apartment with 3 dudes, and we all worked at the restaurant. That's how we did everything.
It's steal
like,
from the restaurant.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, dude, we need mayonnaise. Can you pick it up at fucking fucking Joe's?
When I lived in Florida, dude, my whole house was like funded by Red Lobster.
Yeah,
silverware, plateware, trash bags, fucking everything.
Well, they ain't doing so well now, so you're.
I helped them.
Yeah.
I feel I might have told. I don't know. I can't remember if I told this real story or a lost episode or whatnot.
Yeah.
But they used to get their steaks in like freeze vac.
Yeah, like vacuum sealed.
Yeah. But they would be like in like sheets that have like perforated. So you would tear like the square off of like the bigger sheet.
Yeah, it'd be like almost like a fruit roll up of steaks.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they did like individual fillets in here. So like I would literally like just rip like a strip of the fillets off and then wrap them around my leg and then use the day tape
Yeah.
to secure them and pull my chef pant back down and fucking walk out. And then I would like
So you were like Shawshank Redemptioning fucking stakes
Yes.
around your legs?
Yes.
Yeah.
along with like the portioning bags that I would use to like season them, the 57 sauce, the A1 sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like come back to like a house party already raging, and then I would cook these stolen Red Lobster steaks up on a George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like the king. I would be the king.
I was gonna say you'd be pretty popular in my eyes.
Yeah. I did a lot of damage to Red Lobster personally.
Well, I mean, you owe those people an apology. All those
Yeah.
people are losing their jobs now. It's all
Yeah.
because of your bullshit.
When we got the brass knuckles that one time, we used to beat the fuck out of like frozen cases of shrimp with those things. We just fucking bore holes into them. Oh no, we used to have this thing where like if you went into like the deep freezer, like one of your boys would like turn the lights off and the other one would go in and you just have like a blind fight in the dark.
Just basically just beating the fuck out of anything that could come in within his reach.
Yeah, like you'd be hitting each. Like I remember one time I picked up a bag of like frozen king crab legs and I fucking bashing my buddy with it, and you can like feel those fucking like
they're frozen fucking fish. Yeah,
but I mean a lot of stuff you hit people with. It's like I mean
you're basically hitting people with fucking bricks.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. There's a difference between getting hit with a bag of chicken fingers and a bag of fucking king crab legs, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like that's dense, man.
yeah.
Yeah. I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts. It was like one of my first jobs, and my buddy was like the manager of the place, I guess, for lack of a better term. It was very loosely run, so it was basically us just running the show. I'd only worked there for like maybe a month or something, maybe even less than that. It was pretty quickly I got fired. But we all got fired on the same day because the regional manager showed up and he did the typical regional manager move where for like 8 minutes he was pretending like he actually knew what he was doing and working like the fucking window. And he starts going back. This is back when like, I don't know how they run it now, but Dunkin' Donuts used to have just like pallets of fucking whipped cream canisters, like fucking just ready to go. So he gets the first one. And it's just like peeing into the fucking cup. He's like, all right, well, that's weird. Throws that one away, gets the next one, just pees into the cup. He's like, all right. Gets a third one, pees into the cup. And like, there's pallets of them. Like, fucking, we're talking 300 cans of fucking whipped cream. And he's like, are all of these like this? And we're like, yeah, they're all like that. It's like, you're all fired. It was like, yeah, we kind of figured. That was funny, though. Just basically like for a 3-week period of time we were just all like, well, we could do one, right? Well, let's do one. And then like 300 cans later we're like, did we do it all? Yeah, we did them all. We did every single one of these whippets. Yeah, good stuff. Huffing stuff was fun. No. I mean, whatever. I was like 16, so it was
That's one drug I've never done, bro.
You never huffed it? Oh man, huffing shit was fun. You get the wah 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 wah.
I remember, bro. I remember like basically I feel like all of my friends in my freshman year, like we just partied too hard and their parents were like, you're moving home.
Yeah.
And like I was unsupervised, so I just was like, I'm not ever coming home. So
yeah.
Then like the next group of the freshmen come in and I met these kids working at Red Lobster. You know what I mean? So then they're like, oh, you got the party house, you got the weed, all this shit, so we just became friends. And they were all into like huffing shit. You know what I mean? I just remember them doing it in my living room, being like, these fucking guys are fucking idiots. And like the meantime, it's like I have like a fucking box full of like ecstasy, Xanax, Klonopins, like real drugs that can fuck you up. You know what I mean? I'm like, these guys are huffing what? What are you doing?
I used to huff Glade. Anything that fucking said like don't huff it, you could huff it and get high.
Yeah.
So I used to huff Glade. Used to huff fucking Office Duster. All that shit. Yeah. Office Duster's fucking wild, though, because Office Duster, the compressed air or whatever the fuck is in it, it, like, freezes your vocal cords. So when you come out of it, like, you're just like, it's like, what the fuck,
Have you ever seen the episode of, like, what was that show called? Addicted or whatever, where they were, like, trying to...
Oh, I don't know. Was there an episode on huffing shit?
Girl. Yeah, bro,
I can imagine, dude. It's fun.
Her whole fucking... She keeps getting caught in her car. It's like,
it's like cans of...
Yeah, dude, like...
You knew it was bad when you had a favorite flavor of Glade. Like I was an orange citrus guy. Like it was It just gives you enough of a
Oh
pep
my
where you're just
God.
like, ooh, it's kind of like drinking orange soda, but with like a little bit of like an arsenic kind of flavor to it,
Dude, every now and then we do a pod and
Yeah.
like a bit of information comes out about Brennan that I share with my wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
This is it.
like last time I go, Brennan grew up smoking in his house with his parents, and she was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like she just couldn't fathom a world where that exists.
Yeah.
Now I can't be like, he used to be a huffer.
Yeah.
He used to huff things.
I mean, well, first of all, I can't even blame it on boarding school because I started huffing even in like middle school.
Yeah,
but
like who turned you on to this? Like it had to be a bad friend.
Oh, his name was Alec Gridley. He was the first kid that I saw doing it, and I was like, "Is that fun?" He was like, "Yeah, it's a blast." I'm like, "Let me try." Yeah. But yeah.
Did he tell you to go get your own stuff?
Yeah.
Or did he share?
He shared. Yeah.
He shared?
Well, no. So he actually took it out of. He was at my house, and he was like, "Yo, is that Glade in the bathroom?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he like just threw a fucking rag over it. Goes. And I'm like, "What does that do?" And he's like, "Try it." And I'm like, "Yes." And I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that. Yeah. Side note to that story, he ended up
Dead. He's dead.
I think he is dead. But he ended up. He robbed a Jersey Mike's, and it was the dumbest crime I've ever heard of. He robbed it with his other buddy, this other friend of ours or whatever, and then they literally ran. First of all, they go into Jersey Mike's, give me all the fucking money on the register, blah, blah, blah. They rob it, and then they proceed to run across the street, like 3 houses down, and into the fucking kid's apartment. Like, literally, the people at Jersey Mike's were looking out the window, be like, where did they go? There. That's where they went. Like, the cops showed up, they're like, are you serious? Like, the house across the street? Like, yeah. This is like, knocked on the door, like, did you just rob Jersey Mike's? Like, no. It's like, you're going to jail, you fucking idiots. Like, you're the dumbest fucking criminals ever. So, yeah. That was him.
Yeah, public service announcement, Glade could have long-lasting effects on... What would that be? The voice of reason inside of your head?
The common sense? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was going to make it far anyway. He might still be alive. I don't know. I've lost touch with like a lot of the kids from my town.
You ever like...
I think he's dead now that I think about it. I think it was a while ago. Anyway, sorry.
Like, I feel like you've worked for like corporate or corporate-ish stuff for like... But like, you ever like work for like a private kind of, or like an individual or something like that, and you're like, bro, it really is like the dumbest people who believe in themselves enough to try to make this happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you meet a person that's huffing Glade in the 7th grade, it's like they do have a chance.
A chance of what?
To be successful, because they just believe in themselves wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? There's no sense of doubt if you're just gonna huff Glade. Like, I feel like you truly just don't care about the outcome.
I was going to say, I think if you huff Glade in 7th grade, you're basically just admitting, like, well, I guess I'm going to be just shooting for mediocrity at this point. You know? I'm going to hope to end up an average human being. I'm probably going to come in well below that, though.
I'm going to grow up to be the best bartender in my town.
No. I've defied all odds to end up where I am today. Yeah. Fuck. Forgot what else I was going to say. I was going to say something else about huffing. I can't remember. I guess never mind. I guess the holes that I've punched inside my fucking brain have finally caught up to me. Anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if we're going to continue talking about the long-lasting effects of huffing, it could be you're still wearing a mask in public in 2024 or whatever year that we're in.
Yeah. I go back and forth on that shit, though, to be perfectly honest. In public, I get, like, if you're wearing it in your fucking car, you're an idiot. But, like, how many times do we have to just know that, like, that's, like, throughout COVID, when we were all wearing masks, I'd never gone through, like, that long of a period of time without getting sick. Like, I was just always like, oh, word, this much, like, I usually get sick, like, what, probably like 5-6 times a year? And, dude, I was, like, never getting sick at all, like, wearing a mask. Maybe there's something to this, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like, did you ever hear of this guy who, I forget who he was, but he basically taught Wilt Chamberlain how to throw, I'm going to bring it all back. He taught Wilt Chamberlain how to throw, like, underhanded free throws, right? And the one game that Wilt Chamberlain did it was the 100-point game. So, like, just shooting, like, the basket between his legs. But then Wilt Chamberlain never did it again. And the reason was because you look like a fucking idiot shooting the ball from between your legs, underhand, granny style,
Yeah.
you know? But it's almost undeniable that it is the best way of shooting free throws because the way it like goes off the rim, you can like sync it up where like you're gonna hit 99 out of 100 of these.
Yeah, like
right?
the English on it.
Yeah, exactly. You can make it so no matter what you're going, you're almost assuredly going to do it. And if you implemented it across the NBA, guys would be shooting like 99% from free throw. But nobody does it because you look like a fucking idiot doing it. That's how I feel about masks at this point. It's like, yeah, they all look like fucking idiots, the people who do it, but you can't deny that it like keeps you like maybe you're not protecting yourself against COVID or whatever. I mean, maybe you are, but like the bottom line is you are a healthier person if you are wearing a mask in public, you know? Like you get sick with less frequency.
I just think it builds up you're not like every time you get sick, your body learns a lesson essentially.
Yeah.
Against that,
that's fair.
That particular strain, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like you're making yourself like you got to
more
wear
susceptible.
Yeah, you got to wear it all the time.
Yeah,
I mean now you never get to have sex raw dog. Nothing but rubbers and condoms for the rest of your.
I can count on
existence.
one hand. I can count on one hand how many times I've used a rubber. And I can't pull out of a parking lot, so I'm lucky I only have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. That's definitely that would be the argument that I would have to it. Would be like the, fucking the crowd immunization, whatever the fuck that would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bottom line is they work. If you don't want to get sick, wear a mask, and you will probably not get sick.
I just feel like if I'm building like my ultimate idiot to like walk by my post at the airport, they got a mask on.
Yeah.
They got a fucking belt clip for their phone.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing this still.
Yeah.
They're wearing either the white New Balance or the white Nike Air Monarchs when it's like, those are for child molesters.
Yeah.
That's who those are for. They're not for mowing your grass.
You have to go to a special child molester store.
Those are for secret child molesters. And they got their shirt tucked in, showing off their fat belly in the polo.
Yeah.
And they have cargo shorts on.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that you can zip the pant legs onto.
Yeah. See, I feel like the biggest demographic of people I see with masks are like the people who like are like insufferable like liberals, like those people, like the ones that are like, I'm wearing this for you. It's like relax with that shit,
like they have the fucking rainbow hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Those people, where it's just like, you're not wearing it. You're not wearing the mask because you think it protects you from illnesses. You're wearing the mask as like almost like a fucking cultural statement. It's like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like
I hate that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't like you.
Right. I
Get
don't blame you.
Beat it.
Yep.
Scram.
Yes.
You know that girl?
I know that girl. It took me a long time to figure out that was a girl.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I feel bad. I'm sure that person is like 11 years old, and I'm making fun of them. But
it's like fucking Andy Milonakis's fucking illegitimate child.
Andy Milonakis. What a character he was for a little bit.
I mean, when you talked about the basketball thing, and you're like, I'm gonna bring it back around. Like I thought you were talking about the thing on the list. I waited on these 2 outrageously tall feminine gay dudes, and like all I could think about was like the supersized portion of disappointment that both their fathers must have felt. Like you see your young son drinking his milk, growing big and tall. You're like, bro, I got Brian Scalabrine on deck. And then all of a sudden, it's like
they could have still been fucking playing ball. Fucking what was that? Michael Sam, the linebacker or whatever, who was gay in the NFL.
Yeah.
I have a fucking cousin.
With balls.
I have a cousin who's probably like 6'3" and like 290 pounds. Like he's built like a fucking offensive lineman. And he's the gayest kid you'll ever meet. It was just like, and the moment he was born, you were just like, that kid's gay. Yeah, but it was just like, yeah. I mean, he hit the genetic lottery. Like he could have been a fucking right tackle on those San Francisco 49ers.
I mean, that kid that tricked me and my high school friends into having like a fucking gay wrestling match in his backyard. He was fucking built like a pterodactyl too.
Yeah.
All
right.
Maybe it's the same.
Were you tricked? Wait, hold up. You were tricked into having a gay wrestling match?
Oh yeah.
Was this the story you've told me, or are you just glossing over this?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where. It's so tough for me to remember like whether I've told these tales or not.
I've never met anybody who's had more like negative gay run-ins than you have.
I'm telling you.
Are
they
you
keep-
just
they
asking
keep-
for
they
it at
keep
this
trying
point?
to get me.
I feel
Trying to get me.
I feel like you're just giving mixed signals. Like you
Yeah,
must
I
just
don't
be
know.
like
It's
asking
too
for
nice.
it. You know, Yeah.
Hospitality just got me smiling all the time. And they're
Actually,
like, he's gay.
I was thinking about this the other day. I can't believe I wasn't molested as a kid because I was put into so many situations where anybody else would have been molested. I was just remembering that, like, I went on a hike. I don't know what made me think of this. I was talking to my wife earlier today about we're gonna go for like a fucking walk or something in the woods. I don't know what the fuck. But anyway, I went on this hike when I got taken there by like one of my buddies, like well-adjusted family like buddies. Like we were like they're like we're gonna go to a fucking cabin in Maine. We're gonna go on this fucking whatever little walk up this fucking mountain. And I'm not that kind of guy, but whatever. He's a nice kid, and he was my friend, so we did it. And his family's like super like energetic and fun, but they brought with them like this weird like hippie friend of theirs, who I immediately bonded with because this was like the early days of me doing drugs, like 7th, 8th grade. So I was like, oh, this guy's fucking cool, right? So we're going up this.
This
fucking...
guy smells like Nog Champa, and I love him.
Well, so we're walking up this fucking mountain or whatever, and we get to a point where it's like. There's like a bar or something that you have to like reach across like this fucking chasm to get. And then you have to like hoist yourself up like 3 more bars to like get to the next level. And it's like, dude, you're fucking looking down. You're like, bro, I don't even know how this is possible, but we're like fucking 300 feet up in the air. Like, I'm not doing that. You know, go fuck yourself. And me and the fucking hippie guy were the same with you. He's like, I'm not fucking doing that. That's crazy. And then the gung ho family was like, we're going to go all the way to the top. It's like, have fun. So from there, it was just me and this random ass like old hippie dude that I had no idea. Like
Never met him
before like that day. And we were just like walking back together for like 6 hours in the woods. And at one point he was just like, you smoke weed? I was like, yeah, I smoke weed. He's like, all right. We just lit up a joint and passed it amongst each other. But like now thinking back on it as like an adult, I was like, that's 1,000% how you get molested.
Yeah.
Like, how did I not get molested that day? You know? I don't know. So I feel for the people out there who got molested when they were on their, fucking 6-hour walks with weird hippie guys in the woods doing drugs.
They were asking for it. Probably, they were wearing something.
Yeah.
Wearing something funny.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't wearing anything low cut. Also, at that time, I was just doing drugs, and I was like an awkward, weird-looking kid. So
I mean, if we want to circle back around to my incident.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, I did the gay wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. So. We're all working at Red Lobster.
Yeah.
And this kid, Jordan, this is like I don't even fathom.
Just so you know, the fact that you're working at Red Lobster now makes the story gayer, because I thought this was going to be like I was in 3rd grade story. Now we're talking adult. Okay. But continue.
I'm not an adult. I'm like in high school.
I mean, that's
I'm
17,
not an adult.
17,
I'm not
18.
an adult yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm an adult yet. Well, I don't think I am. So I can't even fathom like thinking back. Like I definitely was like friends with this kid Mitchell in like some math class that I had.
Yeah,
and he was a fucking homo. I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Like I did not even grasp the concept of that. You know what I mean? So same deal with this kid Jordan. I'm like, he's a little fucking feminine, whatever. I don't think he's fucking gay. You know? So he goes, we're having this party at my house. So immediately we're high school boys. Like we're like, there's gonna be chicks at this party.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And there's gonna be I forget what basically it was a tarp on the ground with like a bunch of like dish soap on it. Okay. So like I don't know if this was like supposed to be like a slip and slide or whatever. So then we get there and it's like me and like my 2 guy friends that work at Red Lobster we go to high school together. It's like my core group of high school friends, you know? And it's like this kid Jordan, it's his house. Yeah. And you know, in retrospect, flaming homosexual. Yeah. And so now there's some music going. Maybe there's some other ancillary characters there, but there's no fucking broads there like we think. Yeah. So now like the meathead high school in us takes over. We start playing on slip and slide and we're like wrestling on the slip and slide and shit now. Yeah. You know what I mean? My boy Peter and we were on the wrestling team in high school. So I think, you know, we're just fucking around. Yeah. My boy Nick, I think he might have had a pacemaker by that time, or maybe it was right before he had that condition where he had to get it. Yeah. I don't know. So, you know, this ends up being like a fucking lame party. We're like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Now, like years later, you look back, you're like, yo, we went over fucking Jordan's house and like wrestled on a tarp in this motherfucker's backyard.
He's probably filming it.
Yeah. So it was like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I mean, the more I hear about your gay stories, pal, the more I'm kind of like, this is a lot of it is your fault.
Yeah.
I've never seen a tarp with dish soap on it and said, you know what would look great on that? Me with another man.
I did it. And then like years later, I went down to visit those friends.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. Yeah, it was. I went down there with the girl that I used to do drugs with all the time.
Yeah.
And we went down there and we like recreated that scene because he had like a yard with a slope and we just got like a big tarp and like got it wet. But we were like going down the thing.
Yeah.
And that's where it really came up. Be like, yo, remember that fucking time at Jordan's house when we should have been all molested by a gay army?
Yeah.
We weren't.
So
Oof.
Yeah, that's a tough.
Yeah. And I had some other funny thing to go along with that story you were talking about too about so in that same time, like the neighborhood that I live in,
yeah,
we got this kid Steve. He moves into town. He's like he's into like playing outside after school like we used to. You know what I mean? Like football and street hockey and shit. But he's also like he's into like being a bad kid too. And I was into being a bad kid, like stealing hood ornaments and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he fucking I don't know. I don't think it was the duplex next to him. It might have been the house next to him. But there's this one street, there's just all duplexes, right? So there's this dude, Steve. So this kid's name is Steve. I forget what this other guy's name is. It might have been Steve too. But essentially, it's like this kid's like 13 years old, 13, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
He's younger than me at this point.
Yeah.
Like by a couple grades, maybe just one grade, maybe two. So he's friends with this. Oh, his name's Carrie. That's this guy's name. So he's friends with this Carrie guy, and he's like a 35-year-old man.
Okay.
But Steve's like going over there. He smokes bowls with them every now and then, and they would hook us up with like the porno mags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they would buy.
So clearly, like fucking grooming, like weird sexual molester energy. Yeah.
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 Well, like, what were you doing hanging out with us? Like, and it wasn't just so then Steve brought me over there. I brought my boy Craig over there.
Yeah.
And I think there were another two brothers that were in the neighborhood, Josh and something else, and another two brothers. So I think, by the end of the day, it was like 5 kids under the age of 18 hanging out at this dude Kerry's house. Him and his buddy smoked weed in front of us all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was definitely like they would, if we gave them money, they would buy us the newer porno mags, or I don't know how they would always come across these collections of them.
Yeah.
They'd just be like, here, like they would throw them out and they would just watch us like, those were like drugs back in the day. You would just scatter them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about that shit. I'm like, how did we not get molested by those guys? Like that was probably a way more dangerous situation than the gay wrestling.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, the gay wrestling, I think, was just you guys molesting each other, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But this one,
they watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one
seemed like there was intent.
Set us up for trouble.
Yeah, there was intent on that one.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, molesters are everywhere. Makes me kind of afraid that I'm raising 3 kids in this world.
This is like an episode of PTSD.
Yeah.
From the past. Yeah, you got to tell. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like eventually one of us is going to like unearth some core memory of like when we actually did get molested.
Like, oh no.
It's like, oh shit, that's what was happening.
I remember how I got the top prize at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes me think of like, you're talking about these kids and everything, and I recently I saw. There's no fucking nice way to say this. This fat couple had a baby.
Yeah.
They're both fatties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like they're holding this little tiny baby now. And like all I can think about is just like how much of a fucking fat.
Yeah, kid has no chance.
Like it's already loaded with cholesterol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the baby's fucking blood type is margarine.
Right.
Already.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't get it, man. I just see so many. I don't see any fit people walking by at the airport. I don't understand why everybody at the airport.
Everybody fat is at the airport.
Like a fat piece of shit. Like, are you on your way to your last doctor's appointment? Like, I just don't know.
Well, that's a good point, actually. A lot of them are probably just knocking shit off their bucket list. It's like,
they're like spending the last bit of money that they have to like see
the fit
Italy.
people have a future to look forward to. The fat people are like, oh, fuck it, I want to see France.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it brings me to this other observation that I made where my wife was like, I just want to get out and she wanted to return something and then go look at all these stupid like at first you want to go to the outlets,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna run out of time. So then we returned something that's like TJ Maxx, and then we went to a Marshalls. And I'm like, this is all just fucking trash. Like everything here is just trash.
Yeah.
That they're trying to sell. Like it didn't sell at J.C. Penney's, so then they put it on a pallet.
Oh yeah, Marshalls is
sent it
definitely like where
to
like
Marshalls.
yeah. It's
So-
like it's the stop before the landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably the one that you go to too. Like this is the one by the Emerald Square Mall.
Yeah.
It's in like the plaza with like Longhorn and everything. So I'm driving, trying to find a parking spot, and eventually my wife,
parking lot sucks.
my wife
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, just park far away."
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I
walk.
usually do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, especially if we're driving her car, which is the nicer one of the cars that we have. I try to stay away from the heathens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. So we park far away. And as I'm walking in, every single fucking car that I noticed to look at, the rims on these cars just look like they're all curb rashed.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them is curb. And I'm like, this is the demographic of like idiot that shops at Marshalls. Is just people that aren't even smart enough to not have curb rash.
Oh yeah. My car has curb rash like you wouldn't believe. I have curb rash though because I use my tires to just figure out where I'm close to the
Yeah, but you're
car.
not like
Yeah.
I guess. All right, you're not.
My car's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
though.
you don't care.
Yeah.
You're not a car guy, so
Yeah.
who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And I kind of had that same feeling. I have left the cool car club. I'm now the proud owner of a 2008 Honda Accord
Yeah. So there you go.
with a hard shift into third and 193,000 miles on it.
There you go.
So yeah, it's been great. I'm driving around with little man syndrome now.
Well, fucking enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the great joys of my life is being able to use my tires to determine when I'm in my parking spot, and then also like if I have there's a parking spot at like the Stop and Shop that's closer, and I see a cart in it. Guess what's happening? I'm ramming that fucking thing out of the way. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but
Yeah.
I went to go buy I went to Restaurant Depot today to buy a bunch of dog food stuff.
Yeah.
And I just was like, normally you're like taking stuff out of your car all like carefully and everything. I just fucking threw
Chuck
everything
it in
on the
there.
top
Yeah.
of the hood. Like I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, when people park too close to me, like when I'm trying to like leave work or something, like I just back into them at this point. I don't give a fuck. Although somebody told me the other day to watch out with that shit with Teslas. They like record like when you fucking like hit their car. So, yeah. But if you've ever parked in downtown Providence, like in the hours between 3:30 and 11:30, and came out with your fucking fender like fucking hit, it was probably me.
You did it.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
I remember my dad drove a box truck when I was a kid, and I remember one time I didn't secure the door the right way, and
Yeah.
that shit came fucking slamming open and just fucking demolished like a fucking car. And my
Jesus.
dad was like, "Shut that door and get the fuck back."
So we're
Yeah,
fucking moving spots right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, this was like driving down a road. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
shit.
you fucking hit this shit going like probably like 25, 30 miles an hour, and the fucking door swinging. You know, like I don't know
Yeah.
how the door didn't fucking rip
Rip
off
off the
truck.
fucking
yeah,
hinge,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it was wild.
Damn.
Like, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble about this. But it was literally like I shut the door, I got back in the truck, and we like never talked about it again. Like it was like that did not
Yeah.
happen.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking, what is this thing? She could.
Oh
what's
my
that
God!
from?
Shout out to my man Vinny. I think he might be a listener and a subscriber from the tavern. But he's
Yeah.
I go in. I started. I got the Saturday open now, and I don't know what this is. If you other guys are watching this, but nobody be stocking shit on Friday night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm in there. I'm like, yo, who the fuck works on Friday night? And he tells me who works, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's a bunch of ladies. So what? They think that they don't have to
They don't have
stock
to do it?
beer because it's heavy.
Yeah.
I don't fucking understand. But one of the girls, I've worked with her before, and she's just like a chatterbox. She's not a good server. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So he's talking about her, and he goes, oh yeah, this girl was on last night talking to me about this, talking to me about that, and he goes, that bitch could talk through a blowjob. And I go, bro, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard you say, and I gotta write it down on the fucking on the touch and tips
That's a good one-liner.
podcast list. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, like all of this, like, you know, for lack of a better term, like equal opportunity kind of shit, where it's like, you know, for me, it's not even about a woman thing. It's actually we have like this little gay kid that works for us, and he's our busser. Kid can't lift up a bus bucket. Kid can't empty the trash. Kid can't bring up like bottles. It's like, I don't know, man. How'd you get past the application process, dude?
Why can't what?
Because he physically cannot do it because he is a frail little boy.
No.
Like, yeah, I'm telling you. Like, if you saw this kid, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
well, yeah, but why did they bring him into the mix?
dude, what are you asking me? I don't fucking know. Like, I've even said to them, I was like, whatever role you want to carve out for this individual, because he's a super nice kid.
Yeah.
Like,
It sounds like he's a host.
Well, exactly. It's like, whatever it is you want him to do, it shouldn't involve like lifting anything. Like, we used to have a girl who's like a fucking 19-year-old, 120-pound chick who would like lift up bus buckets. This kid, I can't, like, I have to fucking give him a bus bucket that only has like 4 plates in it. It's like, you can't do that. That's not, we can't keep up that pace. I'll be swapping out bus buckets fucking 25 times a night if that were the case, So it's just, it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I have to ask other people to be like, can you bring that in the back for this kid, and then like have him unload it.
Can you give this kid his fucking AIDS medicine so he can fucking get a little...
Yeah, and it's
get
like
a little quick on this.
And then I have to, ask him, be like, can you bring the empty one back, please? Like, is that possible?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
So
I feel like that's another thing that you'll come to appreciate. Like with the other thing is like you're just a fucking everything is your problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just solve. If you can't solve your problems, you just say we don't have that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, we don't have white cranberry juice. There's nobody to go get it for me right now. We don't have that.
Yeah.
I just don't have that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, you don't have to rely on, like, anybody else. Like, if you can't fix it,
yeah,
fuck it. We're out of that.
Yeah.
It's all done.
I mean, that's kind of the mentality I've adopted anyway, but then I just get yelled at for it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Brendan, you can't do that. It's like, well, I did. So here we are,
I don't know. I feel like I break the rules, and then at the end of the day, I just find a way to be like, I'm just providing the best guest experience possible. And if you want to get me in trouble for that, then I'll die on that cross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the hill I'll die on.
Everything I did was for the guests to give us a good review and come back for a second time. And if you don't agree with that, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I see you have some pissing stuff on deck. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't know what I do know. So we're watching we're cooking dinner last night, my wife and I, and we got Seinfeld going in the background, and some episode about like George getting like woman's frames or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he wants to swap them out. And that just made me think about this time. This is the time in my life where I'm talking about where I work at Red Lobster. Like I got the party house. I'm like a fucking diet Bam Margera, if you will.
Yeah.
We're watching that show all the time, thinking we're cool too.
Yeah.
And so I go over to my boy's house, and they live in a place that's like a series of quads. It's like maybe 3 floors or 5 floors or something like that. And, they're all stacked. They're quads stacked on top of each other. So they have like a common living area, and everybody has their own bedroom and their own bathroom. So we go over there, like, we're having a party this time. You come to our house. You know what I mean? Normally, like, I'm having raging parties, and, like, if I've just done enough drinking and drugging, I just go in my room and shut the door.
Just check out.
Yeah, and I just have enough minions at my house that they're sleeping over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I can just pass out. Nobody's going to trash my house worse than I could.
Right.
So it's like, whatever. Like, I'm fucking going to bed. But now I'm at these guys' house, and this is a time in my life where, like, Xanax has come across the scene.
Yeah.
And me being a person of excess, now I'm like, let's not only take Xanax bars, which I don't know if you know the difference between, like, a football and a bar.
Yeah.
Like, a bar is 4 footballs.
Right, yeah.
Like, a normal person has a football, and they have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, let's have a bar. So then I realized you could snort pills. So now I'm crushing up bars and snorting bars.
You're snorting bars?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I snorted a bar. I might have snorted multiple bars. So now this is the time. I think I'm getting bars for like $1, and I'm selling them for $5 or $6. You know what I mean? So I fucking snorted bars. Maybe snorted 2 bars. And then we go play beer pong with a keg.
Yeah.
Fuck, how much beer did I just drink? You know what I mean? We have a few
I mean, when the prescription drugs are flowing, like, you could drink fucking beers nonstop.
This is like old school beer pong back in the day where you got to
drinking out of the cup.
Yeah, you're drinking out of the cup. The ball's got the hair on it.
Yeah.
And you got to
pulling
drink
pubes out of your mouth.
Yeah, you got to drink the cup before you can take your next shot.
Yeah.
If somebody shoots it in your cup, game over. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you gotta drink your beers.
Oh yeah.
So I drink all these beers. Now I'm fucking hammered, right? Now, and I'm on Xanax. And I
Yeah.
don't know if you know about drinking and being on Xanax, but
You blacked out.
You essentially turn into a no memory having angry Frankenstein. So now I'm in this state of I continue to do the same things all in a row. I lose my keys, or I can't find my keys, and somebody has to be like, Ryan, you don't have your keys. We knew you were snorting Xanax bars, so we took all of your important possessions away from you.
Yeah.
Right? So then I'm like, then I can't find my glass. I think somebody stole my glass. So now I convince myself that it's these other guys, this other crew of Viva La Bams that are at the party. And so now I'm like, me and my one other fucking shitbag friend who's from like my high school friend would die for each other. So now I'm fucking banging on these guys' fucking door. You know what I mean? Like, and they weren't home, thank God. It's me and my fucking little friend, my other buddy, who's like the same size as me.
Yeah.
We're not giants. Now we're trying to fight this whole other quad on sunglasses that they didn't steal. I fucking lost them being fucked up on Xanax. You know what I mean? So somehow everybody comes, wrangles me back. Because now I'm making a scene like at their apartment complex.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, Ryan, like, you gotta reel it in, dog.
Yeah.
So they get me back into like their thing. And so, I don't know, we're fucking playing beer pong some more or whatever. Now I'm fucking, the night's progressing. We're in a quad, right? There's no community bathroom.
Yeah.
So you got to use one of your friend's bathroom if you got to piss, right? So now I'm gone. Dunzo. You know what I mean? I'm fucking trying to get in this one door and they're like, yo, Ryan, chill out. Like he's in there with a girl or something like that. So then I bounce to this other kid's room. So I go in there and they're like, yo, Ryan, that toilet doesn't work. You can't. So they fucking corral me out of there. Now I fucking open the door with emphasis on this other kid. The girl's like, oh my God. And they fucking pull me out of there. I stumbled down to my other friend's room that's open. I don't know what's wrong with his. Maybe his toilet doesn't work. And now I'm at the point.
All these goddamn toilets don't work. Anybody taking pisses or shits?
Yeah, they're all clogged or whatever. I don't know. This isn't my fucking house.
Yeah.
So then I get to the point where like I go into this kid's closet. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's like stuff in this closet. Like, I am fucking tripping over shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, knocking all this shit down. And I think that this is the bathroom, right? So now I'm like taking my fucking dick out. I'm trying to, like, Ryan, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I just turn around and look at him. I'm like, I'm fucking pissing, dude. What do you want from me? It's like, dude, you're in my fucking closet.
You know what,
I mean?
though?
So I just...
I'm gonna side with you on this one. This is their fault. At this point in time, you have left a fucking guy who's drunk and on fucking Xanny bars with no other recourse but to piss in your fucking house. Like,
I guess,
this is on them.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of great stories about we can go one of two ways. We can keep talking about pissing on stuff, or we can tell another great story that happened at Jefferson Commons where my boy who was with me that night from high school, he was like a Marine Corps flameout. Like, he got in big trouble when he was in the Marines.
Yeah.
He had to go to, like, prison.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I think he's done his first jail stint, and now he's out, and he's, like, hanging out with us. And he really shouldn't be, because he's on, like, fucking big-time probation and shit like that. And he becomes, like, fucking new best friends with this other kid. It's like me and my boy Ryan were, like, super tight, and then his boy Tad was like my friend Wayne's like new best friend now.
Yeah.
And they were like the toxic twins, bro. Like there was a liquor delivery service around this time, and they'd be dropping off like the bottles of Jaeger with like the pump on it and shit, and they're getting fucking hammered, bro. Like they were drinking.
Yeah.
Neither one of these kids were like potheads. Like number one to me has always been weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're fucking drinking. So they start fucking whipping beer bottles. Oh, they live on the third floor, and they're whipping beer bottles across to like the other building.
Yeah.
We think it's fucking great because we're all hanging. I'm probably Xanaxed out thinking this is the fucking funniest shit ever. Now all of a sudden I see fucking lights. You know what I mean? Somebody call the cops, you know? And I'm like,
with
fuck,
good reason.
We're getting in so much trouble. There's fucking drugs, there's weed. This is fucking 20 years ago. None of this shit's legal.
Yeah.
You know, this is in Florida.
Yeah, you're all going to jail, especially your fucking buddy Wayne.
He's on probation. There's another Marine there. We don't know it at the time, but he's AWOL. He was supposed to go to supposed to go to like Iraq or some shit, and we're just like, I'm gonna live this college life instead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, so I couldn't have been zanned out because I never would have did this if I was zanned out. But I'm like, yo, we're gonna get in big trouble. So I fucking hide all the drugs in like the bottom of a hamper, put all the clothes back on top, you know, shut the closet door, and then I act like I'm passed out in the bed.
Yeah.
The cops come in, I hear them, you know what I mean? So they come in the room, And the cop, I didn't see him do it because I was pretending that I was sleeping, but I had my foot hanging off the bed because I was like, oh, I'm wasted. I just passed out, my foot hanging off the bed. He fucking booted me in the shin so hard, bro. Like, my leg lifted up, like, maximum leg lift from him fucking boot me in the shin. You know what I mean? And I wake up and I'm like, like fuck, like it's like Ace Ventura getting fucking shot in the leg with the fucking arrows. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And he's got his fucking gun out and everything. I'm like, holy, like this is not how I thought I was gonna go down. You know what I mean? I'm like, holy
I
shit.
drastically underestimated this situation.
And so then it's like he knew that I was like the smart one.
Yeah.
So he starts going through the closet and I'm like, fuck, dude. But he never like dumped the hamper out that had like the bong and everything in it. You know what I mean? I was like, whoo. So we get out and then they realize, you know, Wayne's on probation. They realize this kid's in the Marines. They don't know he's AWOL.
Yeah.
And they kind of take like, I don't know, like, you should be getting in so much trouble. We're going to teach you a lesson. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
And they thought that this kid not telling them that he was in the Marines was like a noble thing to do. Like, he didn't try to use his, hey, I could really use your help right now.
Yeah.
It was like, but really, he was like scared that they were going to figure out that they should be dragging him back to like base. You know what I mean? So
that he's basically like a fugitive.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how that all fucking worked out. But there are so many times where like my boy should have violated on probation.
Yeah.
And he got off. He eventually did violate on probation, had to go back to jail for a long time.
That usually happens.
But, yeah.
You play with fire enough, you get burned.
All from the effects of drinking, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if that kid never found booze, he probably could have taken over the world.
Well.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Yep. Where's he at now?
I don't know. We had a falling out.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Over booze?
No.
Yeah.
Moreover, just like ethics.
Yeah, I mean that happens too.
Yeah. Like it's unfortunate to kind of like, I don't know, you like just like outgrow a person, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, like your life sucks because you believe that it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to know inherently life does suck. Like, you're just a fucking monkey making the best of it.
Yeah. That's
supposed to get eaten by like a fucking jaguar.
Yeah.
And when you become old and decrepit. Like this whole thing, like, you know what I mean? But he's had a bad run on it. But if he had a better attitude about things, I think he could be living a better life right now. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of those fucking, a lot of people, like, it's self-inflicted wounds, and then they complain about them. It's like, you're the one doing this, man. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
So, like, here's like the big, I'm sure the statute of limitations has gone by on this for now, for sure. But, so, we used to work together, right? I get cut early. He doesn't have a car because he essentially took over payments on my boy's truck that was like failing out of school.
Yeah.
And then he like crashed a truck, but he never took payments over in his name. Right.
Okay.
So now he's like fucking up my boy's credit and his family's co-signing and all this shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's already like fucking up our other best friend's shit. You know what I mean? So now he's working with me. He's cooking at the place that I bartend at. So we drive to work together most of the time anyway. If not, one of the other minions and shit, we all drive. There's like 15 of us that work there. They're all friends, you know? So I go to leave that night, and my shit was like, I always had an Altoid tin with fucking little half-eighths of weed in it. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, you sell 3 or 4 of them, you get to smoke for free.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I say, hey, there's a few guys in the kitchen that were asking me if you can handle this business for me before you come home. Like, I'm getting cut. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see you at home, drive the car home, whatever. So he proceeds to go to the bar next door and get annihilated on Long Island iced teas. Like, even the bartender who worked at that place, I forget, he worked with us at some other place, or we got friendly with him enough that we had his number or whatever. But he like texted us being like, yo, Wayne's really fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't
come get your boy. Yeah.
Not even that. I think it was like the next day. Like, yo, he left last night. He shouldn't have been driving like that. And it was like, well, he's fucking arrested. So that's what happened. He's ended up getting arrested in my car, having my drugs on him. And, like, to his credit, like, he didn't rat on me saying that they were my drugs. But it's like, what were you going to do? Just get me arrested too? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're already arrested with possession.
You're already fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked on probation getting arrested like this. It's like, if you did something to say, oh, like I would have taken the charge.
Yeah.
100%. I would have said, yeah, that's mine. But you still would have had a charge for possession anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what? You're just like, I'm going to get arrested too while you're still getting arrested just on bro code?
Right.
Like, so I don't know. I think he's always held that against me, that it's like, I did that time. And it's like, bro, like, you did that time because you fucking got fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you already
put yourself in that situation.
You already agreed to be doing like a drug dealing mission. You know what I mean? And then you decided, okay, I got drugs on me. I'm gonna drive home fucking blackout annihilated.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, how is any of this
my fault?
If anything, you should have had the
if anything,
wherewithal.
I want my fucking drugs back. Like, fuck you. You know?
And or like be like, dude, like, I'm on probation with so much to lose. Why am I hanging out with such a wild card of a friend?
Yeah.
And if that wild card of a friend asks you to do some sketchy shit for him, say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you agreed to do all of this, and then you did all of like the wrong things to follow up
right
on the mission once you took possession of said drugs.
Yeah.
You know, like you fucked up. You fucked up the mission. And there was no recourse. There's nothing that I could do once you got arrested with possession for me to be like, those are mine. Drop the charges against him. You're still violating on possession.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
fault.
And it's like, my friends had to talk me out of going to like the precinct and try to make things right. And they're like, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, he goes to jail, and then we don't talk for years, but I also spiral out of control at this point with like the drugs in my life. Like, I actually become a drug addict instead of just like a party guy.
Right.
Like, now I've fallen in. I have moved home now at this point. I'm not doing different drugs every weekend and stuff. It's like I'm sharing an upstairs, downstairs apartment with my mom and my brother. You know what I mean? It's like my crazy party lifestyle is kind of constricted a bit, but at the same time, still working in restaurants. I still have access to drugs, but now I've got hooked on like the perks and the oxys and all that shit, and I'm like falling down that road. So now just getting high every day is taking over my daily priorities,
right?
Tricking my family into thinking that everything's okay. It's like my long lost friend that doesn't talk to me anymore isn't like a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's when I get a Facebook account that we link back up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we end up, he comes up to see like a Patriots-Ravens game. We go to that together. We kind of squash the beef, talk it all out. But I don't think he ever truly squashed the beef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was still harboring it.
And then, you know, we end up, we visit each other. We still, you know, we try to like continue to maintain friends. I would still say that he was my friend, you know, and then he, you know, I introduced him to some people, and he ended up like making some shitty business decisions with them. And I think, I don't know, like I think I gave him like some seed money for his business or something, probably like $1,500 or something like that. And it's like I never saw that money back from him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so it's like you fucked up the people that I set you up with. You burnt me on the money. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like, what kind of friendship is this? You know what I mean? This is essentially just like a leeching situation. It's like I don't have time for this. You know, and it's unfortunate. Like it's just the older I get. You know, I shared a thing about this on Facebook the other day where it's like sentiments that my dad had posted. And I remember this guy in high school. He was like another dude from Rhode Island. I always thought he was. I never really liked this guy, but he told me, you're gonna realize that the older that you get, the more impactful or the smarter the wisdom that comes from your dad came from your dad becomes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've just shared that sentiment. And I remember my dad telling me when I was all worried about my friends and moving home and blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, the older you get, all that matters is like the people that are under the roof in your house. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just your wife, your kids, your dog, my dogs in my case. You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, like those are the only people that are going to go out of their way to do anything monumental for you. You might have like a few handful of people that will do special things for you. He's like, but it's like you worrying about your friends and having friends and all this shit. It's like in the grand scheme of things, it's just not even worth it.
Yeah, it's not. It's literally nothing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, me and my brother say it all the time. My brother's probably like my best friend. You know, just in terms of like we grew up together. Like we went through like, you know, a bunch of shit together. You know, like we're close enough in age where we were, you know, like from the age of like 19 on, we were best friends.
Yeah.
But we say it all the time. It's like if he ever calls me up and says like, "Hey man, I need $8,000, otherwise whatever, blah 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 blah." Like the answer is like, I don't know, man. Figure it out. Like you're a grown adult. Like I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like you're not dragging whatever situation you're in where you're coming to me for help. Like I don't know what to do. Like I have my own shit I'm dealing with, man. Like. let me do you this favor of saying, like, I'm never going to do that to you. Don't ever do that to me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I figure it out. It's up to you, you know?
Yeah, like especially once you get married and shit, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, what am I supposed to now? I got to run
Yeah.
this through my wife, or I got to like
Or just in general.
tell
Like,
some elaborate lie to my wife and explain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what? It's like, don't put me in this position.
whatever
you know?
situation like you've gotten yourself into, because like he has like in-laws who like are always asking him for money and shit, and it's always like some almost insulting amount of money where it's like, can I borrow $300? I don't know, you know, we don't have enough money to put in our fucking gas tank and shit. And it's like, all right, just $300 or whatever, and they always like eventually pay it back, but it's a struggle. But it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, like how much like fucking pride swallowing would I have to endure to like go to anyone and be like, can I have $300 because I don't have enough money to like put money in my kid's like fucking lunch account and put gas in my tank? It's like, well, then you're doing something wrong. And also these fucking people are also like, they're the classic, you know, we need to borrow $500, and then 2 weeks later they're like going to Nashville for the weekend. It's like,
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing? You fucking moron.
You
like,
didn't have that money because you bought those tickets to
Yeah,
Nashville.
exactly,
Is that what the
you
fucking
know?
problem is?
it's like maybe it's because you're living above your means because you are fucking idiots, you know? So like a lot of times it's just, I don't know. I would never ask a friend of mine for money because it's like, I know what I can do to like get that money. Like I don't live like some lifestyle that's above my head. Usually you're a fucking idiot if you actually need money from somebody, you know? It's like, dude, just, I don't know, man, don't eat out so much and you'll earn that money back, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like putting a friendship at risk over money is just like, I don't know, it's one of the most selfish things you can do in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I don't invest anything in my friendships, my adult friendships now, because it's like I want to be able to just say like, hey, if you know, if this shit just like goes sour one day, like whatever, man, you could like, how much have we invested in this equipment? Like enough money where I could just walk away from it and be like, I don't give a fuck if I ever see that shit again. You know, like
Yeah.
that's the level. Like the moment you start talking thousands of dollars, it's like, like now you have an investment in this relationship, and if it goes south, then you're fucking like annoyed. You know, I like to keep all my relationships on the level where it's like, dude, if I delete your number tomorrow and never see you again, like it hasn't affected my life like after this like coming up week, you know?
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're pushing that point, man.
What, are we going sour?
No, I'm
You want to
saying
fight?
of
You want to
like,
gay wrestle me?
Of yeah.
I'll gay wrestle you right now.
I'll fucking roll that tarp out in the backyard. No, I'm saying we're probably at the point where both of us would probably put up like a G bar to be sharing our
Yeah, but
sharing our
but that's
thoughts.
that to me is the sufficient amount of money where I could just walk away from it
Yeah.
at any time. I had a friend who it was a you know, girl that I was like very friendly with when we, you know, I had my like, core group of friends as a kid, and for the most part, I've for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, I've broken off with basically all of them at this point. But this girl, like, you know, I've known her since I was like in 3rd grade. We were thick as thieves, used to do drugs together. It was a, you know, she was a really cool chick. But unfortunately, she got, you know, strung out, and she fucking, you know, was doing harder drugs and shit, and she was drinking a lot. And she was trying to make, you know, her life a little bit better, and, you know, she needed a car to get to work, you know? I had like a cheap beater or whatever of a car. It was like, you know, $2,500 fucking Buick Century or some shit. So I was like, all right, I'll let you have the fucking car. I know you don't have like any way of paying for this fucking car right now. Nobody will loan you the fucking money. So I'll fucking give it to you and pay me X amount of dollars every fucking month and whatever. So first month comes and no payment. All right, this is a bad start. You know, like second month comes, no payment. Now in the second month though, because I gave her the fucking car and was just like, hey, like get this thing fucking registered, get that all figured out, and give me my fucking plates back, right?
Yeah.
So now, second month rolls around. Now I'm starting to get fucking parking tickets in my fucking name. And I'm like,
Oh my
what
God.
the fuck is this? You know, the first one was like $40. I'm like, what's this $40 fucking parking ticket? She's like, oh, my bad. I was parking on the wrong part of the street. I'm like, okay. Now I started just getting parking tickets. Just like, I have like, she's accrued like $600 worth of fucking parking tickets. And I'm like, at that point, I was like, you need to fucking call and give me fucking money today. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what you have on me. On you, give it to me today. So she paid all the parking tickets. And then from there, I was like, you're not leaving here without my, like, I want my fucking plates right now.
Yeah.
So she gives me the plates. And then from there, I'm like, okay, here we go. Now you need to pay me X amount of dollars every fucking month. Never heard from her again, you know? Well, I mean, I heard from her years later where she was kind of like, she apologized. You know, she was on drugs. She was drinking. But,
Yeah.
And I forgive because I don't give a fuck. Because it was enough. That to me is the amount of money where I was like, I paid that amount of money. Because it was like, whatever, it was a beater of a car. I probably could have traded in for $1,800.
Yeah.
I paid that amount of money, though, to find out that you're not my friend.
Yeah.
You know? That's simple as that.
That's a great way to look at it, man. Because that's how I come around on all these
So, I mean, to me,
lessons,
it was it was one of those things where I was like, hey, you know what? God bless you. Good, you know, good on you. I hope you do end up getting sober and figuring your life out. You know, I'm rooting for you. But I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to have anything to do with my kids. I don't want you to fucking know my kids. Like, you God bless. You know, good on you. And I've had a bunch of relationships like that. You know, it all started with, I had a friend who, you know, he was probably my best friend. And he ended up dying of a heroin overdose. And it was one of those moments where I kind of, you know, we saw the signs of it like early on because he got into oxys. That was like what he started on. So, you know, every time we would hang out, though, it would always devolve into him being on oxys and like him, like, you know, being like, yeah, man, can you fucking drive me back to my house real quick just so I could get more of them and fucking blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want to, I'm drinking, dude. I'm at a fucking party. I don't want to fucking drive back to your house 30 minutes away so that we can get fucking more oxys. Like, no. But it just was like one of those things where like a better friend probably would have been like, hey, man, this is a problem and you're becoming like, you know, you're fucking dependent on these things at this point. I didn't. We broke off contact, and he ended up dying of a heroin overdose like maybe like a year later. So I feel like during that period of time, I was susceptible to all my other friends then being like, oh, you know, I got to be a better friend. You know, I got to be able to, I'm trying to like make things right with these people. I gotta make sure that I'm doing what I can to try and save them all. Well, you can't save them all. And probably what they end up doing is if they're on drugs and shit, they're just taking advantage of you, you know?
100%.
So I had a buddy who's my best friend. He was literally like my fucking ride or die. Like I grew up with this kid. We were always up to no good together. He was my guy when we were, you know, doing all of our no good, you know, devious shit. And he fucking started smoking crack, you know? So no better way of putting that, but he was a crackhead. But and that was the period of time where I started to get out of drugs, so I wasn't smoking crack, obviously. I was more just like drinking at that point in time. But he started smoking crack, and my sister at the time, she was 6 years younger than me. So I was like 23 or so. My sister was like 16, 17. I mean, too young, you know. And he was a year younger than me, though, so it wasn't cool. He started sleeping with my sister, and and this was all like when I'm like off to college or off in high school and shit, so I don't know what's going on in the town, and everyone kind of knows, but nobody's fucking telling me because they don't want to be the fucking one to tell me like, hey, your best friend's fucking your sister and smoking crack with her, you know? So my sister gets addicted to crack, and she becomes, you know, a fucking liability. She's like selling her fucking shit, and like, you know, they're doing crackhead shit, you know? She's giving the fucking drug dealer her fucking car as collateral for fucking crack, and it's like, bro, I don't want to be driving into the fucking hood of Waterbury looking for my sister's fucking, you know, Volkswagen Jetta. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know? And it came to a head where I was just kind of like, you know, dude, like, you're a piece of shit for doing this with my, like, you're a piece of shit for doing this, period. But then to be doing it with my sister is like, you're dead to me, you know? So, yeah, what ended up happening, though, is, you know, my sister had her problems with drugs and shit, and, you know, we didn't know what the fuck to do at that point. We'd come to our wits' end. You know, I had a conversation with her where I was just like, this is it, man. Like, just either kill yourself or don't. Like, you have to figure out a way out of this. I can't help you anymore. You know, there's just nothing you can do when somebody's at that point unless they're willing to help themselves, you know? So she joins this, like, fucking Outward Bound shit or whatever the fuck it was. It was like some Montana, you know, like, go live on a ranch for fucking months and try and, like, clean out, you know? Because we kept putting her in fucking rehab facilities and they'd bounce her after she detoxed, you know, because, like, insurance money only covers you for the first, whatever the fuck it is, like, 14 days of it. And then after that, it's out of pocket. And we don't have fucking thousands of dollars. I mean, in hindsight, we would have, but yeah, so she fucking goes in there. She goes to Montana. And, you know, like every other fucking situation, she ends up finding all of the people who do drugs because that's what every drug addict does. Like, you can't escape yourself, you know? So she ends up fucking out there. She gets into a car accident. She dies. The driver was like on fucking you smoking rock. He was fucking drinking cough medicine. They were like on a bevy of fucking drugs. So she ended up dying. And then at that point in time, I forgave my friend, but it was one of those things where like I was just like, I can't do this anymore with you, man. Like, God bless you. I don't ever want to see your face again. Like, it had nothing to do with like malice. It was just like I physically cannot bring myself to look at you anymore. And he's a fucking, he's doing the same shit he's always been doing, but it's just whatever, man. Do it over there, and I won't care what happens to you. And at this point, fuck it. He's 39 now, so it's like you've had a good run. I don't give a fuck what happens to you from here. But yeah, like it's one of those things where once you realize like your childhood friends are just that, man. Like they're childhood friends.
Yeah,
you're a grown up now. Just leave them wherever they are. If they could fit, like Hyde Cabbage was one of my only friends from that era who I still hang out with and talk, and it's because he adapted and became an adult.
Yeah.
And if Hyde Cabbage ever came to me and said, "Hey, I need to borrow $8,000," I would be like, I would laugh in his face. But, like, sorry, but that's just the truth of it. Like he knows me well enough to know that like the answer is going to be no. Like we're all adults. You have to figure it out on your own. I don't know how we ended up getting on this subject, but yeah, I feel like that's a good life lesson though for anybody who's young in the business. Like, A, don't trust drug addicts, and B, like if you have friends, like just keep them surface level. Like they're not your friends, for the most part.
I feel like on that note, don't ever ask Brennan and I for any fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. And I got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, shit, my bad.
No, it's all good. It was perfect timing.
All right. Yeah, well, yeah. Later,
Until
guys.
Episode 23. We'll see you.
Yeah, later.